You've trained yourself to believe that you are just another face in the crowd. You have convinced yourself that the universe doesn't have a personal plan for you, that it doesn't speak directly to your soul, and that the life you are living is simply a random series of events strung together by chance. But what if everything you've ever been taught about coincidence was a carefully constructed lie? And what if the very fact that you are listening to these words right now is the single most important signal you have ever received? There are billions of people walking this planet at this very moment, inhabiting the same space, breathing the same air, and yet only a handful of them are truly awake enough to see what's actually happening around them at any given time. Only a rare few will ever look beneath the surface and understand that nothing in their life is random or meaningless. You have been selected for something deeper, something that defies explanation but feels undeniably true in the quietest moments, in the quietest parts of your soul. The content you consume, the people you meet, the obstacles that appear out of nowhere, the miraculous solutions that seem to materialize exactly when you need them most. None of it is an accident. And you already know this, don't you? You feel it in those moments late at night when the world goes quiet and you can hear your own thoughts for the first time all day. You feel it when you look at the people around you and sense that they are sleepwalking through their lives, never questioning why things happen to them, never looking for the message that's hidden in every single interaction and event. But you are different. You've always been different. You've always sensed there was something more, something just out of reach, a deeper truth that was waiting for you to find it. Maybe it started when you were just a kid, just a child. You remember the feeling of knowing things you shouldn't know, of sensing when something was about to happen before it did, of connecting dots that made no logical sense but felt absolutely true to your core. You remember looking at adults and wondering how they could be so oblivious to the magic that was happening all around them. And somewhere along the way, you were told that this sensitivity was a weakness, that you were too imaginative, too intuitive, too emotional, too strange. You learned to hide it, to bury it deep inside yourself, to pretend you were like everyone else. But that part of you never died. It just went underground, quiet, waiting for the right moment to surface, waiting for you to finally give it permission to exist again. You are not too sensitive. You are not imagining things. The universe has been trying to get your attention your entire life, speaking to you in a language that transcends words, using signs, symbols, synchronicities, and the most unlikely of messages to guide you towards something extraordinary. But you have to be willing to see it. You have to be willing to stop dismissing the things that feel too strange to be coincidence, and instead start paying attention to the map that's being laid out right in front of you. The first thing you need to do, you need to understand is that nothing in this existence is accidental. Every encounter you've ever had was orchestrated with surgical precision by forces you cannot see but absolutely can feel. The person who broke your heart, was not a mistake. They were a teacher delivering a lesson you desperately needed, though you may not have realized it at that time. The job you lost was not an attack against you. It was a carefully arranged door closing so you could walk through another one that was far more aligned with your true purpose. The illness you survived was not punishment. It was a cosmic alarm clock designed to make you awake and make you realize you were living someone else's life. This is where most people get stuck. They look at their misfortunes like and see enemies, bad luck, random suffering. They feel like victims of a universe that's out to get them. And in that mindset, they remain trapped in the circles of resentment and fear that pull them further away from their own true potential. But the rare few, the ones who are called to something greater, understand that there is no such thing as victimhood, only a series of lessons dressed up in uncomfortable costumes, painful costumes. The moment you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Everything begins to shift. You have been chosen to see through this illusion. You have been chosen to break free from the mass hypnosis that keeps most of humanity stuck in survival mode, endlessly chasing things they don't really want, reacting to a reality they believe is out of their control. The truth is far more liberating and far more terrifying all at once. You are the architect of everything you experience. Every thought you think, every emotion you carry, every belief you hold about yourself and the world, of course, it all radiates outward like a frequency that attracts matching experiences back into your life. It's physics, not magic. You are transmitted constantly, broadcasting a signal, and the universe is simply a receiver that matches whatever frequency you are sending. Most people transmit without any awareness of what they are putting out. They wake up in the morning already feeling anxious about the day ahead. They tell themselves stories of lack and limitation. They relive old grievances and feed them with fresh emotional energy. And when they wonder why life feels so heavy and hard, the energy you are carrying right now, this very moment, is drowning your future toward you like a magnet pulling iron feelings. If you are feeling a knock in your stomach as you listen to this, if something is stirring in your chest like an awakening, that's not anxiety, that's recognition. Your deepest self is confirming what you have known all along, but have been afraid to fully embrace. The idea that you were chosen is not some egoistical fantasy. It's a sobering responsibility. To be chosen means to be held to a higher standard, to be called to step out of the shadows and into the light of your own life, who you actually are. It means you can no longer hide behind mediocrity or comfort yourself with the excuse that you're just like everyone else. You are not. You never were. The fact that you are here, still feeling that pull toward understanding, that's the proof you've been looking for. The universe doesn't waste time delivering profound messages to people who are not ready to receive them. The door only opens when you are standing at the threshold with the key in your hand. Consider all the times you've been on the verge of something extraordinary, and then something external pulled you back. Maybe you were about to speak up in a meeting and share an idea that would have changed everything, but you stayed quiet. Maybe it's a simple metaphor. Maybe you were about to end a relationship that was draining your energy, but you convinced yourself you were being too harsh. Maybe you were about to start a business or move to a new city, new state, or pursue a calling that lit you up inside. And then fear whispered every reason you should stay exactly where you are. That was the universe testing your commitment. The guardians of the threshold are real. They show up as self-doubt, other people's opinions, unexpected obstacles, and they all have one purpose: to see if you will turn back or keep going. The rare few who are chosen always face the greatest resistance. That's how you know you're on the right track. If everything felt easy and perfectly smooth, you'd be coasting on a path that someone else built for you. Real growth is messy, uncomfortable, painful, and deeply disorienting. It requires you to let go of the identity you have been clinging to and step into something unfamiliar and uncertain. But on the other side of that fear is everything you've been searching for. The version of you that wasn't afraid to take up space, the version that trusted themselves completely, the version that could feel the invisible threads of connection between all things and understood their own place within that magnificent web. Let's be honest with each other for a moment. Always, actually. There is a part of you that's been terrified of your own potential. You have known for years that you were meant for more, but the thought of actually becoming that person, actually stepping into the life that you see in your quietest moments, mornings, that terrifies you more than failure ever could. Because if you fail, you can always tell yourself you are not capable. But if you succeed, if you actually become the person you are meant to be, then you can never go back. You have to stay that person. You have to carry that weight. You have to show up fully every single day. And that is the most frightening thing of all. But here is what the rare few understand that others don't. You don't have to figure it all out at once. You just have to start. You have to take that first terrifying step toward the life you are being called to. And then the next step will reveal itself. This is how the universe operates. It gives you just enough light to see the next few feet in front of you, never the whole path. And that is a gift. Because if you could see everything that was required of you, you would probably collapse under the weight of it. The person you are becoming isn't built overnight. They emerge slowly through small choices and quiet acts of courage. You have been given signs your entire life that you are on a unique path. Some of them were obvious, some others were so subtle you dismissed them as your imagination playing tricks on you. The number that keeps appearing everywhere you look. The stranger who said the exact words you needed to hear. The book that practically fell off the shelf and into your hands. The feelings you get into your body when something is right or wrong. That undeniable pull toward or away from a situation. Your intuition is the most sophisticated guidance system that exists, and it has been trying to direct you toward your highest good since the day you were born. You just stopped listening because the world told you logic was the only reliable source of truth. Imagine for a moment that you started trusting that voice completely. Just imagine. Imagine you followed every nudge, every hunch, every inexplicable feeling that your mind couldn't justify. How different would your life look like right now? Who would you be if you had never abandoned your own inner knowing? Who would you have become if you hadn't let fear and other people's expectations make you small? This isn't a guilt trip. It's a revelation. You still have time. You always have time, actually. The version of you that gave up, the version that settled, the version that tried to fit into a world that never understood you, that version is not the real you. That version was a survival strategy, a mask you put on to protect yourself from the judgments and rejections of others. The real you, the one who is being called awake right now, that you has always been there, waiting. They never left. They just got quiet. They retreated to the deepest parts of your consciousness and waited for you to be ready to reclaim them. And you are ready. That's why you're here. That's why these words are reaching you at this exact moment. You have been hearing about patterns like this your whole life. You've heard about how life isn't random, how we are all connected, how our thoughts shape our reality. But something always held you back from fully believing it. Maybe it felt too woo-woo, too out there, too far from your current understanding. But the hunger for truth never went away. It just got covered up by the noise of everyday life. Today, you can let that hunger lead you. You can stop apologizing for wanting more. You can stop feeling guilty for desiring a life that feels alive rather than just functional. You didn't come here to pay bills and die. You came here to create, to feel, to love, to expand, to break through old limitations and discover exactly how far your soul can soar. The obstacles that feel impossible right now, they are not barriers. They are part of the curriculum. They are being handed to you so you can learn the specific lessons you need to become the person who can hold the life that's waiting for you. No one gets the kingdom without first proving they are ready to steward it with integrity, compassion, and wisdom. So, what does being chosen look like in real time, in real life? Not just in abstract philosophy. It looks like waking up one day and realizing that all your struggles, all your heartbreaks, all your losses, they were not punishments, they were preparation. It looks like looking back at your life with new eyes and understanding that every moment of darkness was actually refining you, making you more sensitive to the needs of others, more aware of what truly matters, more powerful in ways that are not immediately visible but are absolutely real. It looks like feeling a sense of peace about the past that used to torment you, because you finally understand why it all had to happen exactly the way it did. Being chosen means seeing yourself through the eyes of love rather than through the eyes of judgment. It means accepting that you have made mistakes. Of course you have. You are human. And those mistakes were not failures. They are experiments that taught you what you needed to know. It means forgiving yourself for every time you acted out of fear instead of love. And then deciding that from this moment forward, you will operate from a different place. It means releasing the need to control everything instead trusting that there is a flow to live that knows more than your mind can fathom. When you are living from that place of trust, everything shifts. The right people appear at the right time. The right opportunities open up. Problems that seemed difficult suddenly have clear solutions. Doors that were shut for years swing open without you even asking. This isn't magical thinking, it's alignment. When your frequency matches what you truly desire, when there is no more resistance between who you are and what you want, the universe is able to deliver it to you with incredible speed. The delay that most people experience is not a delay in the universe. It's a delay in their own readiness. You cannot receive what you are not yet vibrating at the level of. There is a reason you have been feeling restless lately. There is a reason the things that used to satisfy you suddenly feel empty and hollow. There is a reason your relationships are shifting. Some fading away while new ones are taking shape. There is a reason you cannot sleep at night. Your mind racing with ideas and visions that feel too big to contain. You are being prepared for something. The pressure you are feeling is the birth of a new version of yourself, And birth is never comfortable. It's painful. It's messy and intense and sometimes terrifying. But on the other side of that discomfort is a life so much bigger and more beautiful than anything you've ever allowed yourself to imagine. The people who are not meant to see this, they will scroll right past it. They will never make it past the first few sentences. Their minds will label it as something not for them, and they will move on without a second thought. That's the why I mentioned this. That's the filter that's operating at all times. Only those who are ready will receive the message. Only those whose internal turning has shifted to a higher frequency will feel the resonance of what's being shared. If you're still here, if you have made it this far, if something is stirring deep inside you that you cannot quite explain, know that you are not here by chance. You didn't accidentally stumble upon this. The universe has been orchestrating your arrival here for a long time, perhaps longer than you have even been alive. Think about the lineage of souls that led you here, that led to you. Think about every ancestor who struggled, who loved, who survived against impossible odds to pass on the genetic and energetic code that resulted in you. You carry the wisdom of everything who came before you. You carry their strength, their resilience, their unfulfilled dreams. And you have the opportunity to heal all of them by fulfilling the purpose they couldn't quite reach. You are the culmination of so much intention, so much hope, so much perseverance. You are not an accident. You are a sacred inheritance. And now with this recognition comes the question of what you are going to do about it. You can go back to sleep. You can tell yourself this was just an interesting message and go back to the life you have been living. You can keep playing small, keep hiding your light, keep pretending that you are not exceptional, or, my beloved, or you can embrace the truth that you have been shown and start walking a path that is completely unapologetically yours. You can become the person who says yes to life instead of no. You can become the person who chooses love over fear, expansion over contraction, truth over comfort. You can become the person who turns their wounds into wisdom and their struggles into strength. This isn't about being better than anyone else. This isn't about ego or superiority. It's about responsibility. When you have been given a gift, you have an obligation to use it. When you have been shown a truth, you have a duty to live by it. The rare few who see what you see, they cannot just go back to pretending. They know too much. They felt too much. They have been touched by something that cannot be untouched. And that's a heavy burden. But it's also the greatest honor you could ever receive. You get to be one of the ones who wakes up. You get to be one of the ones who breaks that cycle. You get to be one of the ones who creates a new way of being, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you who will ever cross your path. Your energy is contagious. The way you show up in the world affects the collective field more than you can possibly imagine. When you choose to live from a place of courage and authenticity, you give others permission to do the same. Your healing becomes their healing. Your awakening becomes their invitation. You are not just saving yourself, you are saving a piece of humanity that desperately needs the light you carry. This is why you were chosen. Not because you are better than others, but because you have the capacity to hold this truth and transmit it through your life, through your presence, through the simple act of being who you really are. So take this sign for what it is: a confirmation, a permission. Sleep. A green light. Yeah, green light, better sounds. Whatever you have been waiting for, this is it. Whatever you have been waiting to start, wanting to start, now is the time. Whatever fear has been holding you back, choose to feel it fully and move through it anyway. Move like a tank. You've been given the keys to a life that most people only dream about. And the only thing stands between you and that life is your willingness to believe that you deserve it. You do deserve it. Not because you've earned it through suffering or striving, but because you are alive and you are human and you have a purpose that's uniquely yours. No one else can fulfill it. Only you. The world needs the person you are becoming. The people who are waiting for you, the ones whose lives will be transformed by your presence. They are counting on you. Not to be perfect, but to be real. Not to have all the answers, but to keep asking the right questions. Not to save everyone, but to be a living example of what's possible. When you let your light shine, you give everyone around you permission to shine theirs too. This is how the collective awakens. One person at a time, each one choosing to step out of the shadows and into the fullness of who they are. You are one of the rare few. You have been chosen. This is your sign. Not because the universe is handing you something that was never yours, but because the universe is handing you exactly what you have been asking for. You have been asking for. The signal you have been sending out. The prayer that's been living in your heart. It's finally being awakened, answered. And the answer is yes. Yes to everything you've been longing for. Yes to the life you've been afraid to reach for. Yes to the version of you that's been waiting to be born. Now, the only question is this: what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to hold it close and continue to live the same way you always have? Or are you going to let it consume you in the most beautiful way and transform every single part of your existence? The choice is yours, as it has always been. But know that you wouldn't have come this far if you were not ready. You wouldn't have been given this message if you were not capable of receiving it. This moment is yours, my beautiful soul. This life is yours. And the only thing left to do is live it with your eyes wide open, your heart fully engaged, and your soul absolutely free.